Hey sis, are you there? I heard something was going on with you, but I'm glad that everything seems to have settled down now. I always knew that you were so nice, but I can't believe that you put yourself through all of that just for me. You really are too kind. Do you know that? Tracy, I really wasn't doing what I did for your sake, you know. I broke off my engagement with my fiancé because I caught you two having an affair with each other. Well, I know, but you were engaged to a CEO. You know that it's always been my dream to marry a rich man, right? I don't even know what to say to something like that. Is that supposed to be an excuse? Well, I've just always wanted to live like a spoiled princess, you know? I really don't know. What in the world does that even mean in this day and age? Besides, where did a dream like this even come from? It isn't like we were horribly poor or fantastically rich growing up. Well, I know, but that doesn't mean that I can't want to marry someone who is really rich, because if I did that, then I would never have to work another day in my life. And now I found that man after all this time. It really is like a real-life Cinderella story, isn't it? I don't remember the scene in Cinderella where one of the ugly sisters steals her prince away. Are you sure we were watching the same movie growing up? Oh, come on. You can't actually be mad at me for taking him for myself, right? Don't you know that all's fair in love and war? You just gotta get over this. You think this is something someone can just get over? This isn't a toy or something that you stole from me this time. We aren't kids anymore. You're right. We're adults, and I think that you're forgetting your place right now. I stole your fiancé from you, and that's a fact. You just need to accept the fact that you've been dumped for the better woman. You think I've been dumped? Please, I wouldn't have taken Jerome back if he came begging for me to take him back. I wonder if you have any idea just how pathetic and desperate you sound. I really don't care what you have to say about this anymore. I am through with the both of you. You really don't get it. You aren't the one calling the shots here. Jerome left you for me. Do you understand that? And it's because you weren't enough for him. He chose me over you because it's clear that I'm the better choice. And that's why we had an affair behind your back, because you couldn't make your fiancé happy and now he's left you. I really don't care how you try and frame it. It is true that Jerome cheated on me and that's why we're not getting married. But do you see me crying and moaning over losing him? Whatever, I just know that you've gotten better at hiding it now, but you've always been a little crybaby ever since we were little. Now who's the one trying to act all tough? We both know that you were the one who would resort to tears right away. You're just trying to project your feelings onto me, but it's not going to work. You think that I'm crying over getting your fiancé? As if. I think it's hilarious. I couldn't be happier about this. You have no idea how long it's been my dream to marry someone like a CEO and never have to work again. It's like my whole life has been leading to this moment. You really have no idea what you're talking about, do you? But whatever, what's done is done. Oh, come on! You can't just be taking it that easy. Can't you send me a message in all caps or shout at me over the phone or something at least? I'm not going to do that, but you should know that Jerome is not a CEO. What in the world are you talking about? Of course he's a CEO. He's the boss of the company that you work for, isn't that right? Actually, we have joint management of the company, if you must know. Hold on a second. What is that supposed to mean? How can you both manage the company? Well, I actually started the company with my startup capital. Jerome just snuck his way up the ranks using connections of his. The company is, however, all mine. This doesn't make any sense to me at all. What in the world are you talking about? I mean that when we first met while working for different companies, I had just established mine, and as it grew, Jerome showed interest in helping out. Then we started to talk about getting married. After I got pregnant, the board insisted that I have a co-manager in case anything happened to me, and they selected Jerome. So then, you two had the same job at the same time, but the company was really yours? But then, I don't get it. Are you telling me that you're also the CEO of a company? I would say I'm more CEO than Jerome. After all, it was my money that began the company. And I'd double check about Jerome still being a CEO since he would have been fired by now. Fired? What do you mean by that? I mean that once the board found out that Jerome was cheating on me, they asked him to step down and began a full investigation into him. It turns out that he was using company money to take you out for meals and on dates. So the board had more than enough evidence to fire Jerome right then and there. In fact, I believe all of this happened last week. Last week? Are you sure? He hasn't told me anything about any of this. Well, you might want to go and try talking to him about some of this in that case. But then, doesn't this mean that Jerome isn't even a CEO and that I won't actually be marrying a really rich guy? That's what you're worried about? I tell you that Jerome was embezzling from the company, something he could go to jail for, and that's all you care about? You're just lucky the board already agreed not to press charges as long as Jerome pays the money back. Of course, we are prepared to press charges if that doesn't happen. But I was supposed to live life like a princess. I thought I had stolen your man away from you with my charm and good looks. But now you're telling me that the man I stole from you doesn't even have a job? Yeah, and I don't imagine he has much in the way of savings, given how lavishly Jerome likes to live. But why didn't you say anything about this to me sooner? You should have warned me about him. Ugh, I never want to talk to you again. Are you really saying that to me? Oh, that message isn't showing up as read. Well, okay then. Have a nice life, sis.
Hey Mabel, are you there? What the heck is the matter with you, huh? Why the heck did you have to go and tell your sister that I wasn't the CEO of our company anymore, huh?
First of all, it isn't our company. It's always been my company. Second of all, don't be upset just because I told my sister the truth. Not only about your job, but also all about how you were fired. After all, it's not like I ever promised that I wouldn't tell her.
You little... Don't you realize what you've done? Now she doesn't want to marry me anymore. You've messed up my whole life with this.
Oh, so you mean you've managed to fumble marrying 2 women now? You've really got to work on that, Jerome.
You would like to think so, wouldn't you? But it shows what you know.
And just what is that even supposed to mean, huh?
I mean that I wanted to see how you would react. The truth is that I talked to your sister and smoothed things out. So we're still going to be getting married.
And just what kind of lies did you have to tell her to get her to go along with that?
I told her that the reason I chose to step down from my position as CEO of our company is so that I can do and start my own company. And I've already been preparing for this for a long, long time. After all, I was the one who took our company to where it is today. I know all about how to raise a successful company from the ground up now.
You're really going to start a company all by yourself?
What? Like it's hard? I'm going to start a company and it's going to grow far beyond what you could ever imagine. I'll dominate the industry and become untouchable.
Well, you might know how to found a company, but that doesn't mean that you're any good as a manager. And I don't think you've ever shown any promise there anyways.
Are you kidding me? You're just jealous because I left you and our company to go start my own with my new woman.
You can't actually think that I'm jealous of either you or my sister, right? You realize how stupid you sound, don't you?
Whatever. You're the one who doesn't know what you're talking about. Tracy and I are going to live happily ever after while your company just crumbles without me. Just stay out of my way and never try to interfere with my life again.
I really don't care what you and my sister choose to do with your lives, but you do realize that you need capital to start a business, right? Do you have that kind of money? Because I know that you still owe me for the legal fees from your affair.
You think a genius like me needs to waste my brain power on small details like that? I have big plans, and when I tell them to the bank, they're going to have to give me my loan. And I'll get the loan and start my company and have everything up and running in 6 months.
6 months, huh? You really think you can handle doing all that in such little time? Well, in that case, I want you to pay me what you owe me right now.
This is why you always used to get on my nerves. The second you saw that I was going anywhere in life, you would always find a way to try and hold me back. Why can't you just be more like your sister and let me do whatever I want without making little comments on it?
If you've got a problem with constructive criticism now, just wait until you're in a boardroom meeting. Besides, you knew that I was like this when we first started dating. Did you really expect me to change?
You know, I never even wanted to be engaged to you. But I knew that it was the only way to hold on to my position and my power. But then I met your sister, and I realized I didn't have to sell my soul to live like this. What your sister and I have is true love, and it's going to give us the success we need.
Well, I really do hate to stomp on your dreams, but let's just hope that it's true love that you two have.
Of course it is! We've tied together and nothing is ever going to come between us.
Well, good luck with that. I just hope that you two can stay together long enough to be married.
You'll see. We'll prove you wrong. We'll prove everyone wrong. And then you'll realize that you should have never underestimated me. Just now that I'm never going to work with your company again. So when I'm dominating the industry, you'll have to struggle just to keep the lights on.
Well, you have to go found your own company and get it off the ground first, so good luck with that. And do hurry up and send me the money that you owe me, okay?
Oh, you'll just have to wait for that. But don't worry. Once I have all my success, I'll be sure to pay you back that money with interest. And then you'll realize that that's only a taste of the wealth I'll have. Then you'll see how wrong you were about me.
Hey there, Mabel. I just thought you should know Jerome and I moved in together. At first, I was worried about all the things you were telling me about him, like how he wasn't a real CEO or how he embezzled from the company. But then he finally started his own company. And now we've moved into an amazing condo, and we're the happiest that we've ever been. It's amazing. You moved into a condo together with Jerome? Because I haven't even heard anything about him creating a new company. Well, I suppose that's probably because Jerome just runs in different circles from you, doesn't he? This is where we're going to move into. He told me that he already paid for the condo and that they're just getting it ready for us. Oh, wait a second. I think I recognize that view. Isn't that Mammoth Towers? You mean even you've heard of this amazing luxury condo building? Yeah, I have, actually. Do you know what room you're going to be living in? And just why would I share that with you? Don't tell me that you're going to try to break in and try to steal Jerome away from me. Because you should know that the building has guards in it and someone like you won't be allowed in. Right. Well, in that case, I guess you shouldn't worry about telling me the room number. Whatever. If you must know, the room number is 2305. So you're on the 23rd floor, then? That's right. We're almost at the very top of the building. I've never gotten to stay in a place so nice. We're finally going to have our happily ever after. Well, it's just kind of funny because that's my unit. Wait, what? What in the world are you talking about? Do you really think I'm going to buy a lie like that? You have to come up with something better. I'm not kidding you at all. I own unit number 2305 in Mammoth Towers. Oh, just stop it already. Jerome sent me that photo from his phone. He was inside the unit and everything. There's no way that you own the building that we're about to move into. That doesn't make any sense at all. Well, yes, I'll say the interior does look like it's changed a lot. Although you should know that I got that unit because we bought it from Jerome's parents. But the building was under his dad's name for a while. Well, now you're not making any sense at all. How can it be your unit if it's under Jerome's dad's name? Okay, I guess I'll have to explain the whole thing then. So, that building was finished about a year ago. Around then, Jerome's dad thought to invest in the building company, thinking he would see some big returns. He bought a unit hoping to make a quick buck flipping it, but he wasn't able to pay for the whole thing. So then he came to me and asked me to buy it. So then, you're telling me that you bought this unit from Jerome's dad who couldn't afford to get one himself? Pretty much, yeah. But now that I look at this photo, I can see that this is from when Jerome's dad still took care of the place. And that's why it's so different from how I have the unit looking now. But this can't be right. I mean, Jerome said that he and I would be moving in there. I already have my bags packed and everything. Well, I don't know what to tell you, except that it's not Jerome's place to choose what to do with it. How could you do this to us? What's the matter with you? I didn't do anything. In fact, you were the one who said that you never wanted to talk to me again. So how is this all coming back onto me? Because we're supposed to go and live in that big condo building. We were supposed to have our happily ever after there. Why do you always have to ruin things for me, Mabel? You're the worst sister ever. Look, I know this is probably a lot for you to take right now, but you can't blame this on me. But it's not just now. You've always stolen everything I wanted from me, even when we were little. I didn't steal anything from you. In fact, you would always take from me. Whenever I tried to get it back, you would instantly start crying to get Mom and Dad on your side. But it's not fair. I want to live in that big condo. It should be all mine. Well, it was never yours nor Jerome's to begin with. A while ago, Jerome's dad needed money right away and offered to sell me the condo for the price he had put into it. I bought it and have been living there for a while. That's how I know that the interior looks different now. I don't know why Jerome thinks you two are moving in, but it's just not going to happen. If anything, I think that this is just one small part of a much larger lie that he's telling you. But this really isn't my problem anymore. Please don't bother me with stuff like this ever again. It turns out that when it was time to move, Jerome ended up taking my sister to go and move in with his parents. Apparently, they were in serious debt, and this was part of the plan to use Jerome and Tracy to pay off their debts. Tracy was messaging me, begging to help get her out of there, but I just read her texts and then blocked her number. She tried living with them for a couple of months, just hoping that this was all part of Jerome's plan to start his own company. Of course, he had never really even begun the process and was lying to Tracy this whole time about his intentions. I heard later from my parents that they ended up bailing out Tracy and rescuing her from her in-laws' house. Now, both my mom and dad are keeping a very close eye on Tracy and making sure she finds a job and learns some responsibility. As for me, life went on as normal. Nothing Jerome or Tracy did really ever had a chance to affect me. I told my parents that I wouldn't be doing anything to support my sister, and they understood and agreed with me.